absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormy Grace, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of February 1st, where the cosmic sky this week is a little bit tense. And honestly, I think as we move every week and every day towards that exact in the Saturn Uranus square, we see these moments of tension that we just kind of have to be pushed under. And this week is definitely one of them, asking us to get real about what we're seeing, get real about what it is that we're doing, locating that place within us where our ego and our action may actually be in a little bit of conflict and finding a different way to navigate that. So I think we have a little bit of that in the air this week. So I'll look forward truly to seeing what your comments and your experience this week are. So please make sure that you like this video, comment, share, subscribe, leave everything that you've experienced this week down in that comment section. I would just love to hear you, love to support you, love to know that you are you're doing all right out there, essentially. Now this week the eat and greets will continue to roll on. We've got beautiful guests who are coming in as well. I will be participating this week in the Abundant Life Mastery series. So I get to go over and chat a little bit about what happens when you move just beyond the astrology and actually put it into a little bit more of a practical space based out of using the astrology as well. So I look forward to seeing you guys over there. Links for that will be in the description box down below as well. All right, let's get into what's going on in the cosmic sky this week. So first and foremost, as we're coming into February, we're walking in, we're welcoming it in. We've got the sun that is in a square to Mars. So we've got the sun over here in the energy of Aquarius. Mars is, of course, over here in the energy of Taurus, and they are squaring and meeting each other at 13 degrees. So make sure you locate 13 degrees on your chart so you can see where this conversation is happening. Now the sun, light, heat, life, and vitality, my ego, external things, like the biggest blast of energy that we've got is squaring up or in tension with Mars, who's our action, energy, assertion, desire, my strategy planet. And Mars is also in the energy of Taurus, so he feels a little bit slowed down here. So this particular square can feel very competitive, or like you are, somebody's competing against you. It can feel like an energy where it's, you know, there can be controversy. There can be things going on where you are feeling a competitive vibe. My motion, I want to express myself. I want to do this. The energy of the collective is feeling a little bit stuck against what you feel like grounds you in. So what I can tell you is another perspective you can take on this energy, not that a little conflict isn't needed sometimes to get us moving. Always make sure you're taking the evolved version of that action if you can, but also remember that Mars and Taurus, Mars, that Martian energy, we need Mars energy to initiate things. And Taurus is initiate garden, initiate roots, initiate values. So if you take those and you square them against that big old sun in Aquarius, who is also uncomfortable in the energy of Aquarius, that's actually the place that they can meet for some similarity under this square, where they both say, okay, we just don't want to be uncomfortable. So what's the best action that we can take to get out of this without having to have a full blow up, without having to take advantage of one another or anything like that? So try and use your energies that way. As well, on Monday, I think another helper that moves in is that Venus will move into the energy of Aquarius. And I love this placement because it's really like the head and the heart get on the same page, because even though Venus is at the will of the sign, right? The planet has to get on board and do things the way the sign wants to. Venus never loses heart, right? So we've got the heart and the head coming together. But Venus here in the energy of Aquarius is also going to want to move a little bit more at the level of groupings and technology and causes. And apparently we've got an airplane going right now. So we're going to see Venus begin to move in that way, but she also will bring in a little bit of help, a little bit of love, a little diplomacy in what's going on in the Aquarian energy. So definitely go to Venus as a little bit of your softer guide this month. Soften your thinking, soften the intellect, bit more diplomatic, a bit more harmonious, okay? As we get down and we're moving midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, I think the energies will feel them the most. We're going to feel a fixed sign lunar T-square. Now, the fact is fixed signs tell us it's already going to be a little harder to just shift this, change this, move this, but it's lunar. So we have this on the insides, our needs, our security, our feelings about things, maybe even things from the past. It is lunar energy. Things around family, any of those things. And they're dug in with this lunar T-square, which is telling us that it's like, it's almost as if a T-square at the apex point like stirs up something within us. So under this fixed energy, I would ask you to take good note. What's coming up for you in the placement of the fixed signs in your chart? We're talking about Aquarius, we're talking about Leo, we're talking about Scorpio, we're talking about Taurus. What's coming up for your fixed energies in your chart? Look at that. What feels too stuck? What's feeling too heavy that you're needing to maybe make some emotional space around, okay? Now, as we get to the end of the week, and we're here on Friday, we're going to see Venus coming into a conjunction with Saturn. Now, when Venus and Saturn come together, what happens is truly Venus has to strip off the rose-colored glasses. Not every group is the best group. Not everything technology is great. So it kind of brings it down to size. And as they come together, first of all, what can happen is can be frustrating because it feels like something we thought was so great is maybe like it's like our vision of that can be smashed, or it can be made more serious, it can be more refined. So it's beautiful that we get to come into a more foundational, a more solid knowledge about what's going on here, but it can be frustrating a little bit to get there, so if it's a love relationship, if it's something around money, this could definitely be a day or a time where there's something that's a little bit more frustrating about it. Maybe you have to deal with the government a little bit more, or a power that has authority or something. Just know that this energy can be a little bit frustrating. I think based on looking at a lot of what's been happening in the stock market, I wouldn't think that this is a phenomenal day to make any new investments or anything like that. Or if you do feel like you need to move money, I would check out the mundane astrology, make sure you're really solid, look at some elections around that, or just invest really wise if you can at this particular time, okay? Now, when we get to Saturday, we see Venus square off with Uranus. So now we've had this vision of, okay, here's this thing. I've had to take off my rose-colored glasses about it, whether it's a romance, it's a relationship, it's a career, it's a friendship, whatever it is that you had to take a look at. The rose-colored glasses came off, and now Venus is squaring with Uranus. So this creates a little bit of an erratic energy, but it is, I think, the energy that with Uranus shaking up Taurus, Venus being the ruling planet of Taurus, and in the energy of Aquarius. So we have the planets, we have this square under mutual reception, right? So it actually softens the square, even though it still rattles the cage enough for us to get thinking differently, for us to get moving. That square says take action different than we were. We saw something this week that was under tension. We can't keep doing it the same way, and this rattles us into a different position. Now, whether it's love, money, energetically, how you're spending your time, maybe you need to say no to some things. I think that this energy is quite good for it. I would still say too, that at this particular point, we're early on in the Mercury retrograde. So if you don't have to make any big investments, you don't have to sign any big contracts, hold off if you can, but always, always, always look at your astrology, because this might be the best time ever to be doing that, okay? The other thing I think is important to understand a little bit about Friday, Saturday, Sunday in terms of the energies that are working, because Venus and Uranus, Venus and Saturn have come together. This can rattle you at the level of your groups, and this can be a lot of conversation that's happening. Mercury is also retrograde in the energy of Aquarius, so you might be having to go over some ideas, or there's high group conversation that is happening, or a big technological conversation. Certainly, Uranus being one of our transpersonal planets, so governing things at that outer level, we could definitely see that there is a buzz, there is some drama, there is something going on in the places that we do grouping. Medicine, stock market, investment, relationships, all of these things. So just remember, a wise use of this particular energy is just be prepared to see things a little bit different, to take a little bit of a different action. You've already been provided the information about why something's not working, so this is just a nice lead into maybe what's next. It's definitely a weekend, I will tell you, that I think the vibe and the buzz is really high and really electric because it is Uranian. So if you're really feeling those vibes, do some things that feel good. Self-care, love on someone else, like really take care of yourself to bring a little bit of that electric vibe down if it's not feeling like it sits well with you. We got to get through it, but you also want to make sure that you've got your own grounding in place, because it is a very, very electric energy this week, okay? All right, my beautiful friends, I hope that this video finds you well. I hope you will like this video, comment, share, subscribe. Remember, when we go through the weeklies, this is a general reading for all of the signs, so you want to align the degrees that are given in the slide against your chart and see how this energy is acting out, playing out in your particular chart, okay? All right, my beautiful friends, I love you, and I will see you next week, where next week I've got something special for you for the weeklies. We're going to have a week of sweets leading us up to Valentine's Day. All right, my friends, I'll see you next time. Bye.